Hello, boys and girls. How are you doing? It's nice to meet you. Well, do you like mathematics, numbers, and calculations of all sorts? I hope you do, because we are going to have a lot of fun learning about all these together. I'm Puyi, your tutor for Year 4 Mathematics from iTTV. Well, boys and girls, come, let's get started with our first lesson. Today, we will be learning about whole numbers. Do you know what are whole numbers? Well, whole numbers are numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm sure you can count on further. Tell me, how many students are there in your class? 30? 42? Now, that's a whole number. So you can see we use whole number a lot in our lives. For example, let me show you this picture. You can see that the mass of this apple is 20 grams. And on the other side, the mass of the laptop is 2,000 grams. These are whole numbers too. Well, for whole numbers, the more digits there are, the bigger the number is. So can you tell me, between the apple and the laptop, its mass, which one is bigger? The laptop, of course. You're right. Now, boys and girls, can you tell me, how do we read this number? Okay, here we have a 5-digit number, and we read it as 14,520. How do we read it? Now, if you are not familiar, you can group them in threes. Count 3 digits from the right and put them as one group. This is the group for ones, and then count on. The other group will be called thousands. But we will learn later what each digit means, okay? So for this number, we read it as 14,000 because it falls under the group of thousands, yeah? 14,520. Now you can see that the 3 digits on the right are grouped together, yeah? There's a space between the digit 4 and 5. So that now we know that the 14, the digits for 1 and 4, belong to the group for 1,000. Okay, so we read it as 14,520. Now what about this one? 72,819. Yeah? 72,819. Okay? Now what if I give you the words and ask you to write out the numerals, like this one? 65,005. Okay, now you have 65,000. That's for the front part, yeah? The digits 6 and 5. And whereas for the back, you have only 5 ones. You don't have any hundreds or tens. Now, do you know what is a place value and what is a digit value? Place value is the name of the place where each digit is. If you find that too hard to remember, just think of this. If I ask you, where do you stay? And you may say, I stay in Kuala Lumpur, or I stay in Sarawak. That's the name of a place. Now, each digit has a place value. That means the name of the place where this digit stays. Okay? Now, besides that, each digit also has its digit value. Come, let me show you further with this digit. 54,725. Wow, what a big number. Let me show you how it looks like on a spike abacus. Aha! Here is my spike abacus. Don't you think this is a delicious spike abacus? We have candies over here. Now, for a 5-digit number, the place values involved are ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Now let's see, how many ones do I have here? Can you help me count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ones. Okay, fill in over here. How many tens? 1, 2. 2. Okay. Now what about the next one for the hundreds? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And the next one? 4. 4 what? Thousands. Now what about 10,000s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now remember what I told you just now about the group of threes, okay? So these three belongs to the same group of ones, okay? While these two belongs to another group of thousands. So you can see their names here. Thousands and 10,000s. They must have the name, the word thousands here, okay? Now, what about, since we know about the place value, what about the digit value? Let me show you on the board in a short while. Take a look over here. Ones, I have 5. So I can call this 5 ones. 5 ones is a digit value. What about over here? 2 tens. 2 tens is another digit value. Digit value is when we have the number in it. Remember, digit is a number. Okay? What about for this one? 7 hundreds. Yes. 4 thousands and 10,000s. I have 5. 5 10,000s. Now, let me show you the digit value on the board. Just quickly recap, the place value is the name of the place where the digit is at. Whereas, digit value means the value. Yeah? It has numbers in it. Now, 54,725. Okay? Now, the digit value for this number would be, now let's start with 5. 5 belongs to the place value of 10,000s, right? So we can write it as 5 10,000s. Okay. Plus, what about 4? 4 thousands. Okay. Now, can you guess what I'm going to write next? 4 thousands plus 7 hundreds. Okay, and then what's next? Tell me. 2. What is the place value? Tens. Okay, and finally, ones. 5 ones, okay? So this is the digit value, and we have actually partitioned it. When we write it out in this way, we call it partition. Now, another way of writing it is to write out in numerals. 5 10,000s would be 50,000. Okay? Followed by 4 thousands, which is 4,000, like this. What about 7 hundreds? Very simple. 700. Okay. Followed by 2 tens, which is 20. And finally, 5 ones, that will be 5. Okay, well, boys and girls, to partition would mean to break down the number according to its digit value, like this. Okay? If you would like to check the answer, you can add all of these together and you should have the same number again. For now, let's move on to some exercise questions to see if you have understood. Welcome back. Now let's read our first question. Write 81,709 in words. Okay, what a big number. Now we have to write it in words, okay? Now, do you see the small space between the digit 1 and the digit 7? That is to help you so that you know which group belongs to which one, okay? So now, you can imagine the space as named 1000. So, 81,709. Now we are going to write it in words, okay? Are you ready? We have 81,000 81,000 709. This is how we write it in words. There you have it, 81,709. That's the answer. Well, we use the word "and" when we have tens and ones at the back. Okay, now let's go on to question number 2. Are you ready for it? Write 17,536 in numerals. Okay, take a look at the question. 17,536 in numerals. How would it look like? What do you think the answer will be? Now, 17,000. So I know it's 17 followed by a small space. And then we have 536. 536. That's the answer. Remember, we group them in threes, starting from the right. Threes, and a small space, and the remaining ones. So this is in numerals, yeah? Now, let's try the third question. What is the place value of the digit 3 in A, 34,801, and in B, 19,038. Now, let's fill the numbers into the place value chart I have over here. Okay? Oh yes. Now, let's remember this tip. Whenever we fill the numbers into a place value chart, we start filling from the right to the left. Okay? Now, the first number that we have is 34,801. So, I will fill it starting from the right. Yeah? Like this. 34,801. Now, the question wants us to find out the place value of the digit 3. Okay, here is my digit 3. Now, place value. Is it 10,000s or is it 3 10,000s or 30,000? Place value. That's the name of the place, right? So what is the name of the place where the digit 3 is at? 10,000s. So the answer for A will be 10,000s. What about for the second number? 19,038. Again, we have to fill in starting from the right. Okay? So this is how we write it. Now, we want to find the digit 3 first. Right over here. Okay. Now, what is the place value of the digit 3 over here? Tens. So the place value for this digit 3 is tens. Okay. So, boys and girls, remember when you place a digit at the different place value, it has a different meaning, yeah? It has a different value. For example, the digit 3 over here, the place value is tens. So, the digit value would be 30. Whereas for this digit 3 here, the place value is 10,000s. So, the digit value for this one is 30,000. That's a big difference. So, make sure you put your digits at the right place value, okay? Now, let's move on to our next question. Partition 28,077. Okay, now remember, partition means to break down the number according to its digit value. Not place value, but the digit value, okay? Now let's get another place value chart to help us. Okay, here we have another one. Now, to fill in the number into the place value chart, we start from the ones again, okay? Now, 28,077, yeah? Okay, here we have it. Now, let's read the digit value together. 7 ones, 7 tens, 0 hundreds, 8 thousands, and 2 10,000s. Now let's partition this number. Okay, from the question we have 28,077. Okay, so when we partition, we break the number down to its digit value. Okay, so for 2, we have 2 10,000s, right? 2 10,000s plus 8 thousands. What is next? Plus 0 hundreds. So we don't write anything for 0, yeah? So we go to the next one, which is 7 tens. And what's the last one? 7 ones. Or you can also write it as, yeah? Or you can also write it as 20,000 plus 8,000. That's 8,000. Okay, with 3 zeros at the back, 7 tens will be 70. And finally, 7 ones will be 7. There you have it. We have partitioned this number. 28,077 is partitioned as 2 10,000s plus 8 thousands plus 7 tens plus 7 ones. Or we can also write it this way. 20,000 plus 8,000 plus 70 plus 7. Okay? Now, let's move on to our next segment called It's That Simple. Hi boys and girls, welcome to It's That Simple. Now in this segment, we will be going through fun calculations, puzzles, and information about mathematics, the history of mathematics, and so on. You will soon discover that it's that simple to solve some questions and puzzles. Of course, we will be learning also about mathematicians and important people who have showed us and discovered many things, fun things about mathematics that we can learn from. For today, I have this one to share with you. Can you tell me what number is next? 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and what's next? These numbers come in a sequence. Can you figure out what it is? How does one number get to another one? Let me show you. From the sequence, we have 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and missing number. Now, can you see that one number is the addition of the two numbers before it? For example, 0 plus 1 gives us 1. 1 plus 1 gives us the next number, which is 2. Now you can continue on. 1 plus 2 gives us the next number, which is 3. Now 2 plus 3 gives us the next number, which is 5. And so on. Now, if we want to find out this missing number, we just have to find out the sum of these two numbers. Okay, we add them together. 5 plus 8 gives us 13. So that's our missing number, 13. Boys and girls, don't you think that this sequence is very interesting? Let me tell you more about it. This is the Fibonacci sequence. It is named after an Italian mathematician called Leonardo of Pisa, also known as Fibonacci. Well, although Fibonacci mentioned this sequence in his book, it wasn't him who discovered the sequence. Who did? We want to know. This sequence was long used in ancient India before it became famous in Europe. Now, boys and girls, can you find the 3 numbers after 13? I'm sure you can, because now that you have learned about Fibonacci sequence, it's that simple. Boys and girls, now quickly run and get your pen and paper, because I'm going to give you some questions to try at home. Well, boys and girls, we have come to the end of today's lesson. But before we part, let's recap what we have learned today. Today we learned about whole numbers. And we have learned how to read and write 5-digit numbers in numerals and in words. We also went through the place value and the digit value. When we know the digit value, then we can partition a number. We break down the number according to its digit value. Now, be sure you tune in to the next lesson because I have more things to share with you then. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.